Mobile ham radio wars are back, and things are getting interesting. Hey folks, if you've been keeping an eye on retailer listings, then you know the ID-5200 just posted a September ship date and a confirmed price tag of $999.99. Meanwhile, Kenwood's highly anticipated TM-D750 is holding tight with a Q3 delivery window as of May of this year. That means both of these flagship digital mobiles are dropping in the same window. But Icom hitting just under that $1,000 mark puts some real pressure on Kenwood's pricing strategy. Is Icom's early pricing play going to force Kenwood's hand? Or does Kenwood's feature set, like the 220 MHz band and the native 9600 baud KISS TNC, give them the confidence to push a higher price tag? Let's keep in mind, Icom officially brought native APRS to the ID-5200. But when you look closely at the advanced manual from Icom Japan, there's a substantial detail you need to know about before you drop $1,000. As the features of these two flagships converge, let's look at the differentiating details that may push you in one direction or another. Now, before we jump into the numbers, we have to acknowledge the long road it took to get here with the Kenwood D750. I mean, let's be honest, the wait for this radio has felt like an absolute eternity. From mock-ups under glass in Tokyo in August of 24 to FCC approval in May of this year, Kenwood has taken their sweet time. And if we look at the history of this radio, we've been conditioned to expect a promised Q3 might not actually mean Q3. We're all hoping that delivery window holds, but I don't think anyone's holding their breath. Kenwood is definitely testing the community's patience. However, if both vendors come through in that same window, hams have to decide which direction to go. One of the reasons the wait's been so painful for this Kenwood is they've packed the radio with practically everything on our wish list. Tri-band with 220 MHz, true full duplex, native Wi-Fi, and a hardware KISS TNC. But because Kenwood took their time, Icom had plenty of room to study the market, identify the gap, and drop the ID-5200 just ahead of Kenwood for $999. Now let's talk about that pricing play. Icom hitting that $999.99 price point on GigaParts and HRO this week isn't just a random retail figure, it's a tactical play designed to trap Kenwood. In consumer tech, the three-digit psychological barrier is real. $999 feels way different than $1,000, even if it's only by a penny. By locking that price in early for a September delivery, Icom set the baseline for what a flagship digital mobile should cost in 2026. Now, for $999, Icom gives you a 4.3-inch color touchscreen, full dual watch, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, terminal mode, and native APRS. That puts Kenwood in a tight spot as they finalize their launch. Kenwood's marketing team basically has three ways to play this. Number one, the first to market strike. If Kenwood can beat Icom to dealer shelves, they win the wallets of every impatient operator who doesn't want to wait until September. Shipping first could secure a massive chunk of the early adopter market before an ID-5200 can capitalize on their pricing play. Option 2. Match Icom at $999. If they don't beat them to market, they can still win the value battle by matching that $999 price. Because the TM-D750 brings 220 to the table, offering tri-band capability for the same price as Icom's dual-bander will make the TM-D750 a no-brainer for a lot of hams. Option 3. Preserve their margin at a higher price. If Icom comes in late and above $1,000, they face a classic manufacturing margin squeeze. We're assuming the TM-D750 cost more to build due to the tri-band architecture. If they've got less room to move in their unit cost than Icom, Kenwood might have to price it higher just to keep the lights on for that product line. But that turns into a high-stakes gamble. They're essentially asking you to pay a premium for hardware features Icom isn't even trying to match. Now, let's talk about what I'm calling the deal makers or the deal breakers. Because if you're deciding which pre-order button to push, you're looking for detail that confirms your choice. First off, if you're a brand loyalist, a brand diehard, neither team left you hanging. Both manufacturers took their core design philosophies and they modernized them. If you're Team Icom, stepping into the ID-5200 is going to feel like coming home. It takes the gesture-driven touchscreen UI from the IC705 and it brings it straight to your dashboard. Tap to change frequencies, swipe through repeater lists, and connect directly to D-Star reflectors using built-in wireless LAN without an external hotspot. If you're Team Kenwood, you can breathe a sigh of relief. They didn't try to turn the TM-D750 into an iPad. Kenwood preserved the classic APRS menu logic in tactile workflows from the legendary TM-D710G. You get a crisp 3.45-inch color display surrounded by physical soft keys and dedicated knobs that you can operate by feel when your eyes are on the highway. Now, for the technical catch. Both radios have built-in KISS TNC over Bluetooth and USB-C for apps like WinLink or APRS FI, but Icom's internal TNC is strictly 1200 baud. Now, on photos of the ID-5200, you'll see 9600 on the screen, but don't get that confused. That indicator just means the rear data port is set for 9600 BPS. If you want native internal 9600 baud packet and standalone APRS digipeater right out of the box, Kenwood's TM-D750 is still playing in a league of its own. Now, there is a third option out there. What if you're sitting on the fence and you just can't decide? You know, in the past, mounting two flagship mobiles in the same vehicle may have felt over the top. But with how we operate today, it may actually make sense for you. I mean, think about this. Both of these rigs have full duplex operation. You can set one up to work FM satellites while mobile. You can have another band set up for AllStarLink or have one dedicated to a packet gateway. All of a sudden, running two radios in your rig isn't gratuitous, it's functional. You can lock one radio onto your AllStar node or WinLink gateway while keeping the second one completely open for local repeaters, APRS tracking, or maybe 220. So if your budget allows and you genuinely can't decide, putting both on the dash isn't crazy. It's just building the ultimate mobile command center. At the end of the day, having both of these heavyweights introduced at the same time is huge for amateur radio. Icom threw down the gauntlet early with that $999 price, giving us a modern touchscreen, effortless Wi-Fi D-Star access, and native 1200 baud APRS. Meanwhile, Kenwood doubled down on what made their mobiles legendary, keeping the physical tactile feel, maintaining the 220 band, and giving us a native 9600 baud KISS TNC with standalone digipeating. Whether you're Team Icom looking for the modern touch UI, or a Kenwood loyalist who feels like the wait for the D750 is finally worth it, neither brand left their core audience hanging. So now I want to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment. Is the $999 for the ID-5200 getting your pre-order? Or are you holding out to see where Kenwood sets the final price for the TM-D750? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it. Folks, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss the full hands-on reviews when these radios hit the shack. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, 7-3.